We teach kingdom essentials for success in life, in ministry, and good evening and welcome everyone, all my kingdom creatives out there. Good evening. My name is M. Denise Simmons. I am the CEO of M.D. Simmons Productions, and we're a company that's all about revolutionizing the arts, entertainment industry through film, TV, and production projects while giving God all the glory. And you guys are in for a treat tonight. Tonight is #Creative Mindset, where we basically talk about all things creative from a biblical perspective. And our hopes is to inspire you to do and create what God has called you to do, to motivate you, to just take over the world, and just to educate you in your specific sphere, wherever God has called you to do either arts, media, and entertainment. And we do this through Bible-based discussions, so that's when you have me, and then we do it through just various creative people in different elements of creativity, and we do this through our discussion. So tonight, oh my goodness, this lady right here, this pastor, this woman of God, like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna let her introduce herself. Like, this Wynsome Mclean is just dope, and you guys are about to see why I have this type of creative person here. So Pastor Wynsome Mclean, just take it over. Tell us about yourself. What you do?
All right, well, thank you for having me, by the way.
Of course.
On the Creative Mindset, I'm super excited to be here. So my name is Wynsome Mclean. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I'm also the CEO of Soul Care Institute.
Okay.
So I deal with all things soul care,
Nice.
right? So basically I provide, creative and compassionate therapeutic services. So for individuals, for couples, for families, folks who are engaged to be married and need some support. And I do this through, of course, the therapeutic end, but also through workshops and seminars and, facilitated discussions. Really getting to the core of what's going on in our soul.
Nice.
Yeah, because the soul is who we are. It's the makeup of a man. It's where we make our decisions. It's where I control my emotions or manage my emotions. It's where I reason. So a lot of things takes place within the soul of a person. And so it's really important for our souls to be in check.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that, and you could just feel her passion when it comes to just soul care like that. It is very, very important. And I know you guys are out there, and make sure, please share and invite your friends. Please share, invite. Okay, I know you guys are like, why does she have a therapist? Like, what is she gonna talk about? But remember what she said. She has a creative approach. So Wynsome, tell our viewers, like, what's your creative approach to therapy and your counseling? Like, how do you do it? How do you engage? Just what's that?
Okay, so a couple of things. I'm going to share two that I think are very, very important. One is that many of us learn differently. Okay. We don't learn traditional, like how they put us in a classroom and in front of a teacher, and she talks or he speaks, and we take notes and, do all of those type of things. There is something called multiple intelligences. So some of us are visual learners. Some of us are like me. I'm a kinesthetic learner. Like, I love everything movement. You'll see me tapping my feet, and I don't even realize that I'm doing it, but I'm taking it all in. Some people are auditory learners. They grasp everything by you actually saying it to them. Some people are naturalistic learners. They love to hear the waterfall in the background, or they need the drapes open so they can see the trees or hear the ocean. And we learn in so many different ways. Traditionally, people see therapy as you go in and you sit and you talk. And then through that talking, you're, working things out. But one of the things that I do with my clients is I realize that a wife who is a visual learner may be married to a husband who is a kinesthetic learner.
Oh.
So what's my responsibility then in session? My responsibility is to be able to cater to both types of learning.
Wow. So
for the wife, I might have something like handouts or a post-it on the wall with the principles that we're going to be talking about. With the husband, I might give him the freedom to have little gadgets on the table because he's going to be picking up stuff and playing with things in his hand. That doesn't mean he's not paying attention.
Yeah.
That is the way he engages his learning.
Nice.
Yeah. So, again, and all of this I am learning through really working with like teenagers and trying to, put everybody in the box as if they're all going to get it the same way. And it's not so. And so I've just transitioned that into the counseling room as well, and giving people the freedom to learn in the way that they learn. Because I think, if you develop a therapeutic relationship, there's some great things that you can learn. But if it doesn't stick, then the learning is going to be temporary. Right? So you'll have people make changes and they'll make it temporarily because it didn't ingrain, because it wasn't taught to them in the way that their brain works.
Ah. Oh my gosh. That is so, because like I used to teach, I used to facilitate a youth development program.
Sure.
And they taught us about multiple intelligence, but that is so creative that you can infuse that into therapy. And that's important because, you're so right. Like it would just be a temporary fix if you're not adapting, approaching it to their learning style.
Yes, girl. We're creative over in these parts. Yes, we are.
This is a one of a kind type therapist. Like I've never, that is awesome. So with your company, what inspires you though? Like you're all about the soul care. Like what inspires you to really, infuse your counseling, and you specifically just want to deal with the soul?
Because I know what it feels like to have a soul that is shattered. All soul is compartmentalized. And what I mean by that is when I am this context, I have to behave in this way. When I'm in another text, I have to behave in this way. I want people to get to the place where they get so comfortable with self and are so satisfied with self that wherever you see me, you see the same person. And so we've learned to take on these different roles. Like I can't be too much of this over here, or misconceive what it is that I'm trying to do. Or, my family dictates that I act as them. But when you see in another circle, I'm a different way. That is a shattered soul. That is a soul that compartmentalized. I want us to come to unity where I'm so comfortable with myself that I'm able to be me wherever you see. There's no battle going on. There's no taking place in my soul. In the core of my being, I want to be who God says I am. And the only way to do that is to be challenged. Sometimes I'll ask people, I'll say, okay, well, what caused you to make that decision? And I'll get answers like, well, that's what's required of me in this context. So I had that decision. But was that true to your soul? Was that true to who you are at your core? Is God pleased with that decision? Is he satisfied? Have you reconciled that decision with who you are as a person? And so sometimes there's a disconnect there. So I think, just as our heartbeat has a pulse, I believe that the soul of a man has a pulse. And I can literally observe your behaviors, your actions, your attitudes, and determine the health of your soul.
You're the soul doctor.
I want to be a soulologist. Is that a thing?
You're true. Listen, okay, so we have that. That is pretty dope. So we have Kingdom Creatives out there, people, and I feel like creative people are we like all over the place. We're into so many things. Yes. And inside we can be all jacked up. Okay. So like, you as a therapist, like, yes, how important is it to maintain mental stability, yes, when it comes to your creativity? Yes. Like, what advice you can give to those creative people out there, like, just the importance of mental stability?
Yes, yeah. I love that question. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love that question. And the reason why I love that question is because when I think of creative, I think of people who are very complex. Mm-hmm. And so they are getting input. They're taking in information at a very rate. Mm-hmm. And so when you track the brain of someone who is creative, there's just firing. Sinews are firing. Just all sorts of firing is going on, because they can look at this wall and just see something that a non-creative person doesn't see. Mm-hmm. And so that can be tiring. Mm. It can be taxing, right? It's like the creative person that's trying to tell somebody, here's why my child has on purple shoes, green hat, and polka dot skirt. Mm-hmm. They don't see the vision, right? So many times creative people are really ostracized. They're not able to find those people who can see like they see. Mm-hmm. And so I like to use the scripture with Ruth and Mary. Mm-hmm. In the book of Luke. So when Ruth and Mary came into close proximity, what happened? The thing that they were carrying leaked. Mary didn't have to give Elizabeth a dissertation. She didn't have to sit down and explain to her what was going on with her, because what they carried connected. Mm-hmm. And so the one thing that I must say to creative people is make sure you are connected to other people who are creative, because you will sit there and try to explain to them why it is that you see it this way, and they won't get it. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So creative people need a circle. They need people who can, even if I can't see it the way that you see it, I can provide a space. I can provide a space, yes, for you to explore that. Mm-hmm. And I will be non-judgmental, and I will support you, and I will clap you, and I'll say, okay, no, baby, that ain't gonna work. But yes, child, I like it. You know what I'm saying? We need people, because listen, creative people, I think many times are the least supported people, right? Mm-hmm. Because family wants you to be a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse, get it together. Yep. Like artists and all that, writing on the wall and taking pictures. That's not going to bring us no money. We're not going to eat, okay? So you need to be in the company of people who will help to support the vision, support what it is that you see. People that you don't have to explain it to. Something just happens when you meet them.
Just leave.
Yes. And it's that connection.
And that's healthy.
Yes.
That's healthy for the men.
Yes.
Wow. I am learning so much from you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy.
Oh my gosh. Like, that is... I'm gonna have to have her come back for another, just like to go, too seriously. Oh my gosh, like real talk. I've learned, just sitting here, and I hope and pray that you guys were inspired and just edified. Like she's speaking, wow, oh my gosh. So my last question,
okay,
as a therapist. Because this show is #creative mindset.
Yes.
What is your creative mindset?
You know what? Creatively, I've always thought that I didn't have a lot to offer. And so for me, I am actually just beginning to tap into my creativity. Just as how I shared with you about multiple intelligences and how I help that to transition in the work that I do. Those are things that I just thought was knowledge. I just thought I had a knowledge base, but didn't realize that everything that God has been downloading into me, whether it be academia or just my work experience, it's all a part of my creativeness. It's all a part of my I'm uninhibited as it relates to just expression. I'm uninhibited when it comes to people and how they relate to each other and the things that need to take place, the non-traditional things that don't fit the mode. I am only beginning to tap into my creative side.
Nice.
Yeah. And I love it. I love the journey that I'm on because, you know, writing and poetry and writing songs, all of those things that I just kind of really let sit to the side are really beginning to manifest in my life. So I'm on a creative journey myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's her creative mindset, her creative journey. Yes. I love it. I love it. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Winsome.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. Of course.
Yay. So, guys, again, like, I just share it with people who you know can really glean and learn and be edified from our conversation tonight. If you guys have any questions, you know, type it in. Shot me out, or you know, whatever, just DM me, whatever the lingo is. DM. But thank you for tuning in for #Creative Mindset. Please tune in next Wednesday at 7:30, same time, same place here. Good night, everybody. You're dope. Oh my gosh.